All right, we are back on MorningLine. Thanks for joining us. Thomas Abbott with me this morning. If you're just joining us, he acted heroically. Metro Police have said as much. Was one of the individuals shot and injured, along with two security guards who also played important roles in what happened at the Smiles Direct warehouse shooting back on October 3rd, or August 3rd, rather. And we're talking, when we went to the break, about the point where you've already confronted the gunman inside the building, and then he runs outside. Security guards have now arrived. We've seen the video of him out front of the warehouse shooting. That was video released by the police. All right, so at this point, the security guards show up. Let's just pick up there, because I want to take some phone calls for you, but we'll just walk it through the end. So the guards are there, you're with them, you're pointing, and you're saying, all right, he's outside there right now. And what, are they exchanging gunshots?
Yeah, so I pointed him out to the security, and he was heading back into the building. Security got in position, so he just started shooting at that point. Security returned fire, and at that point, that's when I ran back around to the other side, and then another security guard comes out, and he took the right side of the window.
Okay.
And so, and I'm standing there out of the way, you know.
They're up front confronting him. Now,
yeah.
What happens then? You see one after the other getting shot?
Yes. The security on the left side, think he got shot in the leg, and he went down. And maybe 30 seconds after he gets shot, then the other security got shot in the stomach. Okay. And he went down. And so I was like, oh man, you know, just thinking. And
he's gonna come back in now, right, you're worried about that.
Right, so I run over there by security to see if he's okay. And I see him coming back up the stairs. And I was like, oh man, give me your gun, you know. Yeah. And he gave me his gun, and I fired a couple shots just to let him know that somebody was in here manning a gun. Wasn't firing to trying to kill him, but just fired to let him know.
Someone's still there with
Somebody is still there with a weapon, absolutely.
Okay, and he fires back again, continuing, and that's when you get clipped?
Yes, in the process, I looked down to change out the clips, and he had switched positions on me, and I was behind a wall, and he fired right through the windows, through the wall, and that's when he hit me. And it completely knocked me on my butt. And I laid there for a second. I was like, all right, Lord.
You didn't know how badly injured you were?
I did not.
Okay.
I did not. I just know I felt that big kick right there in the chest. And I was, you know.
You could have stayed down. You could have stayed down.
Absolutely.
So, but you got back up. You said something told you to get back up,
yes,
and you were able to. And is that where you tried to help? You know, you're holding onto your bloody shoulder.
Right.
And then you're helping one of the security guards to get to cover?
He scooted himself into the closet. And when he was scooting himself into the closet, then I was there just manning just to see, you know, where he was. And he had stopped firing altogether, so I had stopped firing. And then I went to the closet to help security, to got him some tissue and everything to put pressure. So I was putting pressure on his wound at the same time holding mine.
So he never came back in, and I'm guessing at this point, Metro Police had arrived on the scene. You didn't know this necessarily, but yeah, I guess, when did you realize that he had been taken outside? I mean, you're in there right now wondering, is he going to come back in? Who was the first person that came in and said, okay, and found you guys in there?
Metro did.
How did that happen when they come in? Because they probably have guns drawn still, maybe, right, and they're coming in. And
so, just so it was no mistake,
yeah,
I took the gun out of my waistband and put it back in his holster, security's holster. And we were in the closet with the door closed. So at that point in time, that's when employees start coming in and open the door. We opened the door because they knocked on the door. And that's when I was in there holding his wound. And then one of the guys got me up, carry me over to a chair. And I sit there for seconds, and then by that time, that's when Metro come in from the back of the building. And
because at that point they don't know whether there was just one shooter, two shooters, or whatever. So they're coming in, clearing, and then at what point did they talk to you? You had to go to the hospital to be treated, you know. But I guess you learned. Did someone say, you know, the suspect in this case was shot and killed outside?
Yeah.
He's no longer a threat.
Yeah, that was when I talked to the detectives at the hospital. They let me know he was no more
So they
threat.
came to talk to you after. And I'm just curious, this is just, for me, behind what you just described was the main part of the story. But in the aftermath, how did that go down with detectives? They come to talk to you, and what were they just asking? You told them the same thing I guess you just told us.
Yes, they asked me, did I know the guy? I said no. They said he worked there, and I explained to them I worked third shift, and that gentleman works first shift. I knew nothing about him, have not met him before. I've only been there for 6 weeks. Yeah. So I barely knew anybody's name on first shift. Probably about 3 people, you know. Yeah. So
did they ask you, like, were you trained with a weapon? I mean, you know, law enforcement will typically say, you know, in these cases, take cover, get back, don't risk your own life, and you certainly did. I'm just curious if they inquired. I mean, did you, you know, you saved lives here. I assume they pointed that out. Did they ask you, you know, like, do you have any special training, and do you?
No, I do not.
You don't?
No, I do not.
Did you get a sense that they, you know, you told them that you picked up the security guard's weapon and returned fire?
Because of, if I had not, I truly felt that my life and the security guard's life was in danger.
He would have come right back in.
And he would have come right back in and probably shot us. Yeah. And so I'd rather, you know, get those couple bullets out first before. Yeah,
to keep him out. But again, though, as I've said, and what you did was heroic, and a lot of people would say, you know, I'd hope I would do the same thing. But again, you're not a police officer, you're not security. You could have ran, taken cover, gotten out of there, but you knew these 2 men were down and needed help as well.
Absolutely.
Wow. All right, listen, we'll take a break on that note. It's just amazing. And when we come back, we'll take some phone calls. If you have questions for him, comments or the like, 737-7587 is the number for Thomas Abbot. You know, you think about these types of cases. This here, very different than the Waffle House, but James Shaw and how he acted heroically there with that shooting at the Waffle House a few years back. And then these types of things come up and you wonder what it is, you know, that sometimes leads people to act heroically at times, you know, when others may run and hide. So we'll take a break and be back with more on that right after this.